Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
FightSaga.com presents WAWR Week Radio Chats with boxing scribe Joseph Hearn.
Guys, welcome and happy Thursday to everybody. And I appreciate you guys being here for this impromptu version of WAWR Week Radio Chats. And guys, right now I'm being accompanied by my dear friend, Frank by the Bay. Frank, how you doing,
Hey.
sir?
Good, Joe. Good to be talking boxing. Just catching some ball on the tube. Doing good.
Yeah, it's a great game, man, on Thursday Night Football. It's strange hearing Al Michaels actually call the game on Thursday night, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess they got the new booth. It's a new, I guess, Prime. It's on Amazon Prime now.
Yeah, it's weird. It's actually strange hearing Joe Buck and Troy Aikman calling the games on Monday night now too, isn't it?
Yeah, they paid a king's ransom too.
For that? Jeez.
Yeah, just
But
take them
guys,
away from boxing.
You know what though, Frank? I tell you what, you're a great dude, man, and I want everyone to get to know my current co-host right now. So, Frank, please tell us about yourself, sir, and what got you interested in boxing at this time.
Yeah, I think I was telling you. You know, I'm a second generation Latino. You know, my grandparents are immigrants, and you know, growing up, for us, sports was not considered something that we were supposed to do or allowed to do. You know, we were supposed to go out and work. Sports was something like that people with money did. You understand what I'm saying, Joe?
Of course I do. Puro Mexicano, Holmes.
But dude, you know, growing up, go ahead.
I was taping houses and doing drywall, man, at 13.
Yeah, I mean, no, not to speak of the plight or but just as far as, you know, like you're asking me my background, you know, I'm middle aged, so you know, I've kind of seen sports evolve and with technology, so yeah, you know, but my father, you know, he went to school and everything, so he was able to provide a better life for me, and I didn't have to go work in fields during the summer like he did, so I was allowed to play sports, and the TV raised me. You ever see Cable Guy?
Of course. Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick.
Who said, was it that Fight Club that says we're TV babies? Do you remember that scene? I'm a single parent home, so I'm a TV baby, and I just grew up on, you know, I'm from the Bay Area. My dad loved football, and you know, the TV raised me, so, you know, watching the Bulls and then Kobe and Shaq, you know, the Cowboys dynasty, which was a long time ago, Joe, but we'll let you have it.
You know what, dude? Oh, I've got the mute button right here, my friend.
And you know, me and you started a thread, WWE, when it was Hulkamania. So, you know, sports has just always been such a big part of my life.
WWF, yes, and as well as mine, as well as most of our extended family members of WAWR Week Radio.
Yeah,
absolutely,
and then
brother.
Just playing sports. And you know, I grew up in the inner city, so you know, people call it the hood. To me, it wasn't really the hood. I didn't know what the hood was at the time. You know, to me, it was just life. Kids that were in the same. You know, I didn't really look at it as the hood. That's right. You know, no silver spoons. So, you know, sports kept a lot of us out of the street. I mean, and just not to be a downer, but especially in boxing, there's already a few kids that I grew up in the gym with that are gone, you know, taken out by the streets. And
I know.
Yeah, and you know, like the kids I played baseball with and football with, you know, a lot of them went to college. They were just really great athletes. I wasn't that fortunate. I was a middle of the pack athlete. Played some college ball, baseball, but I actually got into boxing later on in life. Believe it or not, I
Mhm.
have family who were in the fight game, and so they didn't. You know, I wasn't encouraged to boxing. My dad would not let me fight. So it wasn't until I actually got into high school that I went to a gym on my own, and I didn't tell him, and then that's how I felt. Yeah, he was not. He did not want. He didn't. He felt he didn't work. He worked too hard to let me get beat up. You know.
Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? So you caught the boxing bug a little bit later on in life. Yeah, but once you catch the boxing bug, Big Frank. Now, I hope you don't mind me using the Frank Thomas moniker with you, man.
The what?
The Frank Thomas moniker with you,
Oh
brother.
no, it's all good. You can call me
Okay,
whatever you want.
so Big Frank, it's funny. It's yeah, once you catch the boxing bug, boy, you're in it for life, aren't you?
It is, and I've had this discussion on, you know, Twitter. I told you I'm relatively new to the YouTube sphere and Twitter sphere, and so I've
Oh,
seen it
God bless
all.
you, man. Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
you know, coming to talk boxing and it turns into these out of this world debates, and I'm like, okay, I don't have time for that. But with the boxing bug, there's been many times where I just was sick of the sport. I said, man, you know, this is scummy. It's dirty. And you know what a friend told me though, and because I used to work in a boxing gym, like I actually worked there, and he said, but I had came back. I chose a different career path. I didn't see it as a viable, you know, future for me. So anyway, I came back
Yep.
years later, and I was like, did you see that Ortiz Mayweather bullshit? I ain't never buying a damn pay-per-view again. He said Frank, you'll be back. And he said it like
Yep.
it's creepy.
That's
And
it.
this was a smart guy. This was a guy from like Yale or something like that, but he loved boxing like me. He said, no, Frank, you'll be back. I was like, dude, shut up. And I was back.
Yep. That's it. That's it, man. It's like once the boxing bug bites you, yeah, it's all over for you, brother. You are a fiend for life. You're a bloodthirsty ghoul for life, my friend. With that said, let's give a shout out to some of our brothers in the chat. Jesus M. Saludos. And he goes,
But but you mentioned something like, I think last week, you know, you were talking about your discuss with the YouTube boxing community, and you gave them a challenge, and so where I think what separates me from a lot of the boxing community and why I tune into you and I vouch for you is that before there was YouTube, I used to live in the gym, so
yep,
that was my
that's it.
job. That was me talking boxing every day, all day to clients, kids. You know, they looked to me for boxing knowledge, and I was like, okay, I'll try to conversate as much as I can because there's still a lot I didn't know, and there's
Well,
still a lot I don't know. But
Frank, without you even saying so, it's blatantly obvious, my friend. You're very experienced, and you have hands-on experience, is what I like to call it, right?
yeah,
And I tell you what, right now, guys, and I have to be honest with you, I've had a pretty rough day. So yeah, I'm leaning on my boxing peeps right now. I need you guys right now. You guys are a sight for sore eyes. So
well,
thank you for being in the chat. Thank you, Frank, for being in the panel. And
yeah,
I tell you what,
and
anyone else who would like to be in the panel, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link once again. Anyone who wants to converse with us, we're going to talk about everything tonight, guys. We're going to talk
and
about the entire Tyson Fury situation. We're going to talk about Clarissa Shields mouthing off about Demetrius
oh,
Andrade,
come
Canelo
on,
Alvarez.
jeez.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on that. Okay, because once again, I'm not gonna be like other channels and beat her over the head with it. Because once
Okay,
again, it like consider the source, guys. It's Clarissa Shields, right?
yeah,
And so we're gonna talk about Tyson Fury's comments on Joe Joyce, labeling him the second best heavyweight in the world right now. Is he right? Well, we're going to analyze that and talk about that. We're also going to talk about Crawford Spence. And it
oh
points
yay,
to my brother, Jesus M. He says, I thought Spence Crawford was going to be announced on Friday. Well, brother, so did I. And unfortunately, well, there have been several stipulations that have arisen since I was told that, right? So, and once again, and so my brother Jesus M also says, "Who is this?" And it's my brother Frank. And once again, he is a great fight aficionado. Someone who has a vast amount of experience being in the gym, working with fighters, and well, as of late, fighting the good fight on Twitter.
You know, and I tried, and you know, you said something I was going to add. You know, leaning on your boxing family, and trust me, guys. You know, like I said, living in the gym for a few years. You know, doing that, waking up and going home, going to the gym at 6 and leaving at 10. You know, p.m. or probably
Yep.
12 sometimes.
Yep.
Cleaning up. I mean, doing everything in the gym. You know. But it becomes your family. You know, people come to
That's
the
it.
gym as an escape. Like, not everybody that goes to the gym wants to fight. Like, maybe 3% want to fight. You become an extended family, and they tell you anything and everything. So
That's
yeah,
it,
Joe,
guys.
that's what we're here
That's
for.
it. That's it, brother. And once again, you can ask Coach Gogi, right? How many hats he wears in the gym, right?
Uh
As
huh.
big brother, father, best friend, psychologist, mentor. I mean, it's absurd how much he does for his fighters. And of course, he doesn't want to gush about himself. And you know what's funny is I tried to allude to this on Sunday night show, but Coach Gogi wasn't having any part of it because he grew up in a different era, right? As did I, but you know, I'm a little more optimistic than he is. Actually, a lot more optimistic than he is. Guys, we're looking at the dawning of a tremendous heavyweight era. When you look at the rankings, guys, and you look at how many fights could be possibly made, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Joe Joyce, Andy Ruiz Jr., right? Luis Ortiz, Joseph Parker, Philippe Erdovich, Frank
um.
Sanchez, right? Robert
Yeah.
Helenius,
She. I like
okay?
Zilly Zhang. Did you say Zilly Zhang?
Dillian White, Zhilli Zhang, right? This is a great era. This has the potential to be a great era of heavyweight boxing. And honestly, heavyweight boxing, and once again, Don Chargan always talked about this. And once again, this is kind of viewed in much lighter emphasis nowadays, but it still holds true, guys. As the heavyweight division goes, so goes boxing. This has the potential of creating a resurgence in American boxing pop culture. The heavyweights, okay? And there are so many great matchups, and we're going to see one on October 15th. Robert Helenius is going to take on Deontay Wilder. And once again, I've got to set the story straight because a lot of people who can't stand Al Heyman have a real hard-on for this guy. And once again, we're impartial. We have a good relationship with everyone in boxing on this show, right? Regardless of promotional entity, regardless of fighter, we have a good relationship with everybody. So we're objective at the end of the day. At least I am anyway. I'm a journalist, right? So a lot of people, especially a dear friend of mine who is going to go unnamed, but he's been bad mouthing ever since it was, well, publicized that the price point for Wilder versus Helenius is going to be $74.99. Okay, and this gentleman, boy, he wants to badmouth Al Heyman, saying, "Oh, this is Al Heyman's doing. Oh, he's trying to rob you guys blind." No, this price point was actually generated by Fox. And why? Because Deontay Wilder, the guaranteed purse that he's requesting for this fight, Okay, they're the only stipulation, the only way they would actually guarantee that kind of purse that Deontay Wilder is currently asking for is if this were attached to the pay-per-view revenue stream. That's the only way they would guarantee it. This is devised by the network, no one else. Look, if Al Heyman had his druthers, and once again, guys, look at how Al Heyman originally introduced himself to the boxing business with PBC. He wanted everything to be free on free TV. Guys, this is devised by Fox. They are now unwilling to guarantee any substantial purse, even Deontay Wilder, without the pay-per-view revenue stream attached to it, as broken as it is. Right? So this has nothing to do with Al Heyman. If he had his druthers, he'd put it on for free. Okay? So, is there a lot to bellyache about Wilder versus Hellenius at $75? Frank? Would you pay that much money?
No, I'm not gonna buy the fight. I mean, I'm a boxing fan, but I try to spend wisely. You know, I mean, I think it's a good fight. I mean, it's an interesting fight. I don't know about a good fight, but I can't say that I'm gonna pony up.
Look, that's the intriguing thing about it. You don't know if it's going to be a great fight or a one-sided mismatch. You don't know. You have no idea because the intangible is Deontay Wilder. You don't know if he has that same level of durability. Now, once again, you can show all the pictures and all the footage of him in camp working mitts, but you know what? Mitts don't hit back.
There you go. You know,
okay, this is going to be really intriguing, in my opinion, guys. This is must-see TV. Like Deontay Wilder just being back in the big picture of things. This is a great thing for boxing. He is one of the few mainstream guys in the sport in America at this time. Okay, so and once again, are eyes going to be glued to ESPN that night, October 15th, seeing Haney versus Kambosos 2? No. Yeah. Everyone is going to be intrigued into seeing, are we going to see the same Deontay Wilder? Are we going to see the same guy? Or are the two beatdowns via courtesy of Tyson Fury, are they going to have a lingering effect? And if they do, if those two beatdowns do have a lingering effect, well, he's in trouble. But I tell you what, both guys can crack. Both guys, well, they have limited amount of defense. This is going to be a sight for sore eyes if you love heavyweight boxing. And once again, I point to better eras of heavyweight boxing. The 90s, that was the last great era of heavyweight boxing. That wasn't just dominated by one fighter, right? Even the B-level participants had great matchups, like Oleg Moskayev versus Corey T-Rex Sanders. What a great fight that was, right? But I tell you what, we're going to go to the comment section. My brother, John McSmith, salute. Joe and boxing fans tuning in from around the world. Salute to you, my friend. And he gives a shout out to you, Big Frank, the Big Hurt.
Hey, thank you.
Yep.
That's
Frank
right, the
Thomas.
Big Hurt.
Frank Thomas. I tell you what, man, I'm a huge baseball fan. Truth be known, guys, that is my favorite sport of all time, right? By far the most majestic of all American sports. Can't wait for postseason. October couldn't get here any quicker. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Juice. Salute to you, my friend. Also want to give a shout out to my brother RR1000. What's up, brother Jay? In chat box, what's up with you, my friend? Thank you for being a part of tonight's show and being a part of the War Week Radio Extended family. You're a sight for sore eyes at this time. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Funkrites. Hey, Joe and Frank. Buenas noches. Buenas noches to you, my friend.
Hello.
God bless you, brother. He says, personally, I want to see Kambosos versus Haney. I find that more intriguing because it's going to be a different fight. Are you sure? Desperation brings out high action. Well, I will say this. I will say this. If he truly is motivated to do something different, but all talks of retirement leading up to this
Yeah, I heard that.
doesn't actually lend itself to anything different this time around. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Peter Von Arx. Good evening, Joseph and Frank. Good evening to you, my friend. And guys, if you haven't heard Peter play guitar, please go check him out on YouTube. He is amazing. Incredible acoustic guitar player.
Okay.
My brother Dirty Red, also want to give a shout out to him. He says, do y'all think W.A.W versus Yoka can make a splash comeback? I think W.A.W has the bigger upside. I think Tony Yoka, well, is more smoke and mirrors. But we'll touch on that a little bit later. My brother Funkertees also says, with regard to Wilder, it's whether he's washed or KOs Hellenius in a couple rounds, which is what should happen. Well, it depends. It depends, brother. It all depends. Look. If we're talking about the Deontay Wilder, that was the Bronze Bomber before he was face planted by Tyson Fury. Sure, it should be a 3-round fight, right? Because even though Hellenius can crack, he doesn't have the greatest defense in the world. And he is always susceptible. Just looking back on fight tape, he's always seemingly susceptible to the overhand right, the right cross, right? Somehow he cannot defend himself against that. So if Tyson Fury, if Deontay Wilder is still the same guy, if he's still the Bronze Bomber, yeah, we should see a knockout of the year. Recipient. Like, we should see a knockout of the year. What is the word I'm looking for, Frank?
A good performance and not
a contestant is what I want to say.
Oh, okay.
We should see a knockout of the year contestant. Okay, want to give a shout out to my brother Toby Bartlett. Salute Joe, Frank in the chat. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for always being a part of the WAWR Week Radio extended family, sir. My brother John McSmith says, Gogi said Wilder shouldn't be in the ring. I don't argue with the coach. Neither do I, sir. And that makes the fight so much more intriguing. Once again, guys, it's a great fight. When you look at heavyweight rankings, there's so many mix and match potential matchups that we could see in the heavyweight division that are truly remarkable. Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
When you look at Dillian White now possibly training with our good friend James Buddy McGirt, that's something. Boy, and he is a welcome commodity within the heavyweight division. He still has something to prove. He still has something to offer. These are great fights. So with that said, let's go into our first topic, Tyson Fury. Now, once again, everyone understands that Tyson Fury is Frank Warren, Tyson Fury's promoter of choice, especially in the UK, right? Is currently negotiating with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sport and Anthony Joshua. They're currently trying to put together a fight, a super fight on short notice. And I tell you what, anyone who thinks Manuel Char is going to get the call, boy, they don't know very much about the business of boxing, right? And why is that, Frank? Why is that, brother? I mean, dude, does any network realistically want to pay millions of dollars to see Tyson Fury tangle with Manuel Char?
I can't imagine they do.
Okay, so here's the thick of it, guys. There are only two fighters currently that can drag Tyson Fury out of retirement. Okay? And that's Anthony Joshua or Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk has already stated, I'm not fighting until next year, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? I've got a lot of stuff to take care of at home. Okay? And that's understandable. He's a Ukrainian. I've got a lot of things that I need to deal with at home first, and I need to have a break. That's understandable. So he doesn't want to come back until 2023. So Tyson Fury has stated, well, I've got December 3rd on the calendar. Well, good luck, brother. Because, and once again, Tyson Fury is not going to come out of retirement unless a network is willing to pay the kind of money that he's grown accustomed to receiving. Frank, is anyone going to pay good money to see him fight either Manuel Char or Derek Chisora?
If they don't know better, yeah. But if they do, probably not.
Oh, come on. So let me just give you the purses that he's received in his past 3 fights. $25 million in Deontay Wilder 2. $30 million in Deontay Wilder 3. $31.6 million in Dillian White in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. So you mean to tell me he's willing to come out of retirement to fight Manuel Char for a fraction of that amount?
No, you're probably right, Joe. That's a stretch.
Look, and I feel bad for Manuel Char because he's a pawn in all of this. Okay? Like, this is a guy who's like, hey, don't go back on your word, Tyson Fury. And you know what? No one gives a shit what he has to say. Not even Tyson Fury, because he is no one of consequence. Who the hell is he?
Well, people know who he is now, so that's about it.
Does anyone, like, his claim to fame is getting knocked out by Vitaly Klitschko in his final fight. This is a guy who was knocked out by Alexander Povetkin brutally, right? Does anyone have any interest in this matchup, including BT Sport, right? Are they willing to pay Tyson Fury even $10 million for that matchup? No. Hell no. Especially when they lost their ass in the Dillian White pay-per-view because of streaming, right? Did they make any money in that fight? Hell no. So, guys, the only way Tyson Fury comes out of retirement is if he faces Anthony Joshua on December 3rd. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth his time. And that happens all the time. When you have a fighter who's received $30 million in his last 2 fights, what is the potential of anything less attracting Tyson Fury out of retirement?
That's what I want to see, the Joshua fight. Then you hear this Char talk, and it's like, it seems pointless, like a lot of the things that are being said on Twitter. But, you know, I mean, it's making the news. Well, that's about it.
Well, news in the States? No. News in the UK? Of course. Tyson Fury's a big commodity. He's a mainstream guy. And he's grown accustomed to making mainstream purses. Let me ask you something. Would Canelo come out? Like, would Canelo come out of retirement? Right? Would Canelo jump in the ring if he were only going to be making $10 million? $5 million? Fuck no, dude. I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be as blunt as a shovel tonight, right? Fuck no. Right? So, want to give a shout out to my brother, Izzy B. DeVoe. Respect to War Week Radio family. Yes, guys, you are a sight for sore eyes. Thank you for being a part of the show tonight. Also, my brother, Jay Doe. He says, salute, gentlemen. A lot of back and forth with the lightweights. When will they fight each other? Loaded question. Well, if you're asking the question, you already know the answer, Jay. And there it is. Like, I don't even want to talk about that because it's nonsense.
Yeah,
it's all nonsense at this time.
Yeah,
right?
I
We'll
mean,
talk
all
about
these
that a
things
little bit later on the show, but it's nonsense, guys.
The Twitter wars. It's Twitter wars. That's what we're talking about nowadays.
Oh boy.
This is the first time. I mean, maybe people are used to it, but like I said, spending all my days in the gym, I don't ever remember talking about this type of Twitter war. But hey, I mean, times change, people change, and this is what they like. So that's what we're here for, to talk about it.
Hot
But
garbage.
You're not gonna make me
garbage,
like it.
brother.
That's what
I'm
you know
sorry,
what I
go
tell
ahead,
you.
Frank.
I say you're not gonna make me like it. Like people eat it up, and that's fine. But you're not gonna make me like it, and that's why I listen to War and I talk to Joe, because you tend to see through a lot of these shenanigans. And honestly, like the chat, is one of the most, I don't want to stroke him too much, but seem pretty knowledgeable. Like you said, you like having the smartest chat.
Look, brother, the War Week Radio extended family. They are and I take great pride in this, they are the smartest fight fans on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm seeing that because I go in other chats and they're just drinking the Kool-Aid. They're saying they're arguing about these things. I'm like, what? For what? You
guys,
really
my brothers in the chat, they are the smartest on YouTube. They are, right? And I take great pride in that. God bless all of you guys. So my brother Toby Bartlett says, Eddie Hearn said Fury's representatives have also offered Chisora the fight too. Shake my damn head. LOL. Well, brother, once again, is there any interest in seeing Derek Chisora versus Tyson Fury? And how much do you think Tyson Fury would make from that kind of matchup? Would any network be willing to pay him $10 million? Because that's what's going to, that's the least amount of money that would lure him out of retirement. That's not going to happen, guys. That fight isn't worth that much. Okay? So J. Doe has the beat. Not happening. That's right. Toby Bartlett says Chisora would be an easier sell than Char for sure. In the UK, sure. But how much? Come on. Look, Tyson Fury already whooped his ass once, twice. Okay, the first fight was somewhat competitive. Second fight was a one-sided mismatch. Okay? Guys, just look it up. Our brother Tycho TV, welcome to the show, sir. He says, these fighters are too spoiled. Sorry, but it's true. Brother, don't apologize for speaking the gospel on this show. Tycho, you already know, brother. And once again, our War Week Radio extended family is the most intelligent on YouTube. Our brother Peter Von Ark says, I thought Joshua said he wanted to fight in December, right after the Usyk fight. Yes, but here we go, guys. We're going to talk about, what his handlers think. Look, if he's already agreed to terms, what's the problem? Frank, if Anthony Joshua has already agreed to terms, what's the holdup?
I don't know. The only thing
Eddie Hearn doesn't want to have anything to do. Now, once again, guys, he doesn't want this fight, Eddie Hearn. He's going to do everything he can to be an obstructionist in this scenario. And why? Because his superstar fighter, the guy that he actually DAZN signed to a lucrative multi-fight deal, okay? He's coming off of 2 losses. If you talk to Eddie Hearn, he says, I would much rather have him fight 2 fights, get 2 victories under his belt, and then fight someone in his top 10. Okay, what does that tell you guys? He doesn't want this fight from a business perspective. He doesn't want his superstar client, his biggest client, to participate in a fight opposite the best heavyweight in the world.
Yeah,
he may act like he does, but he doesn't. And he's going to do everything he possibly can to throw a fly in the ointment, a monkey in the wrench, a pain in the ass. Am I wrong, Frank?
No, that makes complete sense. I mean, why he can't afford that loss at this point in his career.
Look, in other eras, in healthier eras of boxing, getting 3 consecutive losses against the 2 best heavyweights in the world, is there any shame in that?
No, I don't.
None.
No,
but today, the way fans react, the way media reacts, okay, that's career suicide.
There you go.
Eddie Hearn knows this. So he's going to do everything he can to stand in the way of this deal coming through. So once again, guys, if you're smart, and I know all of you guys are, you should consider Tyson Fury a retired fighter until the deal gets made, because he's not coming out of retirement for Manuel Char. He's not coming out of retirement for Derek Chisora. The only way he comes out of retirement is for Anthony Joshua or Alexander Usyk, and Alexander Usyk is not part of the equation right now. So that's it, guys. So expect this deal not to be made because Eddie Hearn doesn't want it to be made. Okay? He doesn't want Anthony Joshua to get 3 consecutive losses. And once again, am I jumping the gun here, Frank? Assuming that it's going to be another loss for Anthony Joshua?
No, I mean, because you got to look at, you're only as good as your last performance. So, that's what's fresh in my mind. And
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. And once again, this goes back to Tyson Fury's comments of Joe Joyce. There's a reason, guys, twofold. There are 2 reasons, right? Why Tyson Fury just came out in the media and said, well, you know what? Joe Joyce, he could be the man. Okay, this is a guy who's the biggest threat to my mantle at this time. And why? Because he's a guy who's assertive, who's going to move forward, throw punches. He's not a counterpuncher by trade. He's going to cut off the ring, close the distance, and keep coming. Mm-hmm. Do I think Tyson Fury would outbox him? Yes, I do. But it's a much tougher assignment than someone who's a pocket counterpuncher. Guys, this is why Anthony Joshua is all wrong for Tyson Fury. Or I should say, Tyson Fury's all wrong for Anthony Joshua. Because he's a counterpuncher by trade. Okay? So what's going to happen when Tyson Fury implements all of those feints, that upper body and head movement that he always does? He will feint with his feet. He'll feint with his hands. He'll feint with his head. He'll consistently throw off the timing and rhythm of Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Guys, he's going to get knocked the fuck out. If Anthony Joshua fights Tyson Fury at this time, he's going to get KTFO'd. That's money in the bank, guys. Eddie Hearn knows this. Okay? He's trying to save his cash cow from ultimate demise. Because once again, like it or not, Anthony Joshua is a counterpuncher by trade. And he's going to be consistently disrupted by the movement. He's going to consistently get his timing and rhythm disrupted by all of the movement of Tyson Fury. It's going to be a horror show for Anthony Joshua. And that's the
Yeah.
reality, guys. Eddie Hearn knows this. So don't expect this matchup to be made, even though the contract is sitting in their lap. Eddie Hearn talking about, okay, the terms have already been agreed to. We sat down with the networks. They've already agreed to it, but there's so much more to discuss. It's going to take weeks. Bullshit. Bullshit. If the money's already been agreed to, if the terms from the networks who are guaranteeing these purses have already agreed to the amount, what's the holdup? It's
Hey, you just
bullshit,
nailed it.
guys. It's bullshit, guys. Eddie Hearn does not want his cash cow to step in the ring with Tyson Fury. It's an abysmal style matchup for Anthony Joshua. Sad but true, guys. Sad but true. You can take it to the bank. Okay?
Yep. Preach, brother Joe.
So what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Tyson Fury is not going to have a dance partner on December 3rd that's going to make him the kind of money that he has grown accustomed to receiving. So guess what? Tyson Fury is going to come out in 2 weeks and going to say, you know what? I'm happily retired. I'm just going to go ahead and stay retired. That's it. Guys, Tyson Fury is a retired fighter unless he gets a purse that is comparable to what he's received in his last 3 fights. That's it.
Ah, man.
That's it.
It was looking good until you just burst our bubble, Joe.
Sorry, brother. But once again, man, and once again, we're objective, right? We don't cast aspersions unless it's deserved. We don't throw daggers if it's not merited, right? We're going to be objective. We're going to tell you straight because of what we understand about the business of boxing.
Yeah, I mean, you get sucked into the Twitter wars. You know, people are blaming Fury not being serious, and the other side is blaming, Joshua. You know, it's just, but you lay it out straight, and that's why I listen. You know, when you understand it from the business perspective, everything becomes more clear. And so,
guys, that's why we profess the business on this channel, so you guys understand why certain deals are going to get made and why they aren't. And we're going to tell you with great certainty that this deal is not going to get made. So if you want to blame anyone for this, and once again, you're going to see several YouTube channels blaming this on Tyson Fury. You're going to see several YouTube channels blaming this on whomever.
There you go.
But the real fly in the ointment is Eddie Hearn. He understands this is a terrible fight for his superstar, Anthony Joshua.
At this time, especially at this time.
So Funkrates says, well, if Fury stays retired, his legacy takes a pretty big blow. Funkrates, and once again, very insightful. Funkrates always is the voice of reason. But I will ask you this, Funkrates. Do you really think fighters of this era give a shit about their legacy?
Yeah, I can't imagine they do.
So here it is. Here's a big question from my brother John. He says, any interest in a Fury versus Wilder 4? Well, tell you what, if you ask Deontay Wilder, and why are they so interested in Tyson Fury 4? Seeing that he beat their ass twice in a row, gave him a faceplant in their 3rd fight. Why is he so interested in fighting Tyson Fury again?
Wait, he wants the revenge? Is that what it is?
Nope.
Well, that's what he says.
Nope. It's because Deontay Wilder understands that's one of the only fights in the heavyweight division that can garner the kind of paycheck that he's grown accustomed to receiving. Once again, why is he fighting Hellenius right now? He said, oh, this has nothing to do with the money. Really? Then why the fuck are you calling out Tyson Fury? What happened to Andy Ruiz Jr.? He understands there's very little money in that stateside. What other matchups, okay, is going to garner a multi-million-dollar paycheck for Deontay Wilder other than Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, or Tyson Fury?
None that I can think of.
Exactly.
Not the Andy Ruizes
So
of the
what are the
world.
fighters that he recently called out?
The Usyk, right?
Usyk and Fury. Yep, that's it. Essentially, Anthony Joshua. Why did he call out those three fighters? Why?
Well, they make the most money.
That's it. That's
Business
it,
sense.
guys.
Business sense, okay.
Look. There's a saying, right? You get in the boxing business for two reasons. One, to make money. Two, to make more money. That's it. Okay, so if you're wondering why he's called out these fighters and Andy Ruiz Jr. was nowhere near the conversation, why is that? Because he doesn't bring any money to the freaking table. That's it. That's it, guys.
Yeah.
Look,
that makes sense. We want what we want, but
and I know you guys probably don't want to hear that, but that's the reality. That's the reality, guys. So I want to give a shout out to my brother, right? Snoop C. Always very insightful. Always very insightful. He says, is there a slim but realistic chance that Samson Lukowitz procures a fight between David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade? Hell no. He said he has several times more money for Andrade. Hold on, brother. Frank, what are your thoughts on this while I shut this dude up? Just 1 second.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a good matchup for Benavidez. I mean, it's all talk until we actually get the fight announced. I mean, David's gonna fight. Maybe Plant. Plant has the real fight coming up. But other than that, I mean, there's really not much for David right now, unless sit and wait for Canelo. But Canelo's gonna be out a year, so. Yeah, it's not realistic at this point. I don't know what Andrade brings.
Guys, Demetrius Andrade is an afterthought. And this is a gentleman who I really like. I really like he and his father. They've always been really kind to me over the years. Every time I've wanted an interview, they've always been accessible. They're very likable guys. But in terms of business, no one wants to do business with these guys anymore. They have a very low market value and are a product of inflated purses. This is why he backed out of the fight with Zach Parker. And because he has no market value, literally none, right? None. This is why the purse bid was so low. Guys, we told you several months ago that this was going to be a problem for the both of them. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, he is being forced into retirement because of one bad decision after another. He's an afterthought. He's a nobody. He doesn't have a title any longer. So what does he bring to the table? He might as well retire. Understand that he's already made millions from what? Having no fan base? Okay.
Yeah, that's the point I bring up. I mean, get still sorry for him or whatever, but I mean, he's made some good paydays, so it's hard to sympathize.
Right? Like, look, guys. And unfortunately, guys, I apologize. I'm having to cut this show short, right? I did want to talk about Crawford Spence. I did want to talk about everything under the sun. I'm going to have to cut this short. I've just received a visitor, a very dear friend of mine, right?
Tell them about the best fight I've ever seen.
Okay.
Okay, my apologies, guys. My
No
apologies.
worries.
Friend of mine just showed up. I'm gonna have to cut this show short. Frank, do you have any parting shots for our listening audience, sir?
No, just waiting on the Crawford Spence to be announced. I
Oh
guess we'll
boy,
just sit
I
here
I
forever.
tell you what. Once again, guys. Oh boy, if you think this is all Al Heyman's fault, okay, think about what party has no representation at this time. Terrence Crawford, W.A.W, they've been a nightmare to deal with this entire time. Because it's almost like someone showing up to criminal court and trying to represent themselves. Right?
Yeah, that always seemed like a problem.
Okay, so that's the problem, guys. Don't fall into the garbage that some people who have a hard-on for Al Heyman saying that this is all his fault. That's rubbish. Upon speaking with Steven Espinosa of Showtime Sports, guys, Crawford has been the fly in the ointment this entire time. And why? Because he doesn't have a promoter or manager to represent him at this time. He doesn't. He doesn't have Daniel Kinahan. He doesn't have Bob Arum. This has just been him and W.A.W trying to reconcile, trying to make this deal for them, right? And it doesn't end well. Okay? Guys, God bless you. We're going to have to actually cut this short. But I tell you what, Frank, tell us where to reach you, my friend.
Frank Bay Niner on Twitter for right now. That's where you can tell me all your boxing takes, and I'll respond.
Very good, very good, very good. I tell you what, Frank, it's always a pleasure to share the air with you.
It's always very enlightening.
And I apologize that we're having to cut this episode short, but like I said, my brother just showed up, and so my attention is going to be focused on him from this point forward. So God bless all of you guys, and once again, please subscribe and please like to Warwick Radio Network. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful Thursday evening, guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless all of you guys.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows